Torbay Assembly was started in 2015 by Torbay Community Development Trust through a project called Ageing Well. One of the outcomes was to ensure that more older people had high personal learning and service aspirations for later life, facilitated by better information, advice, and more integrated services that older people were involved in co-designing and co-producing. The Assembly was born. It will become a lasting legacy of Ageing Well, where older people can share their thoughts, ideas, and experiences and come together to be heard, feeding these voices into and influencing strategic plans and the development of Torbay as a whole, where its members are meaningfully involved in co-design and co-production, and in some cases, co-delivery and evaluation. Torbay Assembly is hosted by Torbay Community Development Trust. This enables us to access organisational and administrative support, as well as practical support and advice through its staff and networks.
What we realised in setting up the Torbay Assembly, where we wanted to link local people with statutory and voluntary organisations to ensure that their voices are heard at the appropriate time in any consultation process, we needed a mechanism, process for doing this for the Assembly. We were originally going to produce a strategy for the Assembly and any associated partners. However, in working with the statutory organisations, including the council, the ICO, various departments, public health, they all said, please don't produce a strategy. We've got plenty of strategy. So we came up with the concept of a charter that we commit to working together with people and organisations to develop Torbay as a place to live and work. And what that means is that we needed to change the conversation. We needed to change the conversation to engage the organisations with the people at the appropriate time to help develop services, products, etc., as well as the way of communicating them. The current charter consists of a two-sided commitment. The first is the principles and commitments that the Assembly members put in place that we will ensure that we do, that we abide by. And the second page is what the department or organisation who signs up to the charter commits to. So this is the example of the one Torbay Council have signed up to, signed by Councillor Darling and me as the representative of the Assembly. It shows not only what the council are committing to, but also what the benefits they receive are.
As you can see here, the aims of the Alliance and the mission of the Torbay Assembly already complement one another. The Assembly purely wants to share its knowledge of community-based support for over 50s and ensure that proposals are co-produced with a person-centred focus. We can provide the conduit between the Alliance and the Assembly membership and action group, so we are able to contribute to the process and feed in people's experiences. We identify and support innovative and transformational projects. We have commissioned new projects through the Ageing Well Innovation Fund, which reflected a process of genuine empowerment and participation of older people within the programme. They firstly identified their own 4 prime priorities to fund, and they also came up with the structure of the application. Local organisations and groups could apply for between 5,000 and 25,000. They had to provide evidence of co-designing and co-producing their application with older people. We recruited from our assembly membership a panel of 8 older people who then took training and assessed the applications and made recommendations on which projects should receive funding. The panel allocated a total of 170,000 to 8 projects, to which that they also were involved in the evaluation. Age-friendly is a World Health Organization status. It is used internationally to improve areas or towns or cities to be the best or most age-friendly that they can be for their over 50 residents. The Torbay Assembly instigated and led in the early identification of the age-friendly themes. We completed mass consultation in every neighbourhood of Torbay through our Food for Thought consultations. The people's voices closely reflected the same key priorities as age-friendly. Through the engagement and consultation with the wider residents of the Bay and our membership of over 900 people, we were able to identify what the challenges are, as well as identifying solutions and improvements to existing services, and identifying with the people what they could do themselves, how they could volunteer, skill share, and help others. You will see from the image there are 8 key areas, or what the World Health Organization call domains, which are health and community support services, civic participation and employment, social participation, communication and information, respect and social inclusion, housing, outdoor spaces and buildings, and transport. The Assembly have been working on each of these domains and have action plans on each. Today, we will be giving you some examples of just a few of these. Torbay Assembly worked in partnership with the Ageing Well programme delivery partners within the voluntary and community sector and Torbay Council to create a proposal for Torbay to become an age-friendly area and to achieve the World Health Organization's age-friendly status. We joined the UK network in 2019. We then created a collaborative baseline report which shared what work had been completed through Ageing Well, the Assembly, and wider activity across Torbay. This baseline report supported our application, which was successful. We gained age-friendly status for Torbay with the support of the Council in 2021. Our main aims now are around further engagement and communication with membership and older people, and to increase representation on boards or groups which have influence over decision making. As Torbay is now an age-friendly area, we have 3-year action plans which we have created in partnership with the Council, NHS and community and voluntary sectors, which cover each of the 8 domains and works which need to be completed to support our age-friendly application. During the pandemic, the Torbay Assembly's Action Group and membership have been supporting the community helpline, whether this might be through volunteering as call handlers or as telephone befrienders, or taking a more practical role in supporting people with things like trust shopping and prescription collections. As the helpline is moving forward into the Front Door project, the Assembly and its membership would like to continue supporting its development. Nearly 4 years ago, Torbay Council invited the Assembly to have a representative to update and rewrite their housing strategy and to be included in an extra care housing working group. This covered a wide range of products and projects, including all aspects of housing, to enable residents to remain in their homes and independent for as long as possible. We had also been invited at the right time to be involved at an early stage to share our local knowledge and the voices of the community. Consultations included older people in rented, social and privately owned housing. And common themes appeared. The importance of location for housing, which needed to be affordable and accessible, as well as close to transport links and facilities such as shops and schools. Externally, it was emphasised that access without steps was so important, particularly assisting with wheelchair users as well as children's buggies. Internally, easy access to gas and electric meters was stressed in a location easily reached within the property. Currently, this is a problem in new housing developments, and a little thought goes a long way. Plug holes and electricity should be situated at waist height. Internal doors needed to be widened, again to facilitate wheelchairs and buggies, so all ages. Accessible cooking and cleaning facilities to be considered for all ages and ability, i.e. eye or chest level for ovens, and including separate walk-in showers and bathrooms. Another common theme was the use of assistive technology needed to be developed to assist staying in the property if appropriate, but it must be user-friendly. It became apparent after discussing with older residents that staying put in their current home was not necessarily their correct ideal, which is what many assumed in the working group within the council. It was to have appropriate accommodation, to stay independent, which could include moving, or is referred to as the right to move, for the individual or couple. Staying in their current location or neighbourhood was key, where they knew the facilities, services, but most importantly, the connections and friends in their community. Findings were included in the plan for housing in later life, and recommendations were used for market engagement with potential development partners for Torbay sites. 2 such sites have now been confirmed, one in Paynton and one in Torquay, and we are still currently involved in the presentations by providers for the extra care housing tenders in Torbay, and can make recommendations and comments to the panel. This is an ongoing example of inclusion and collaboration within the process of housing in Torbay, which is what we want to replicate within adult social care within the Alliance. Respect and inclusion in the age-friendly domains refers to engagement of older people. This is about people's voices being heard in the co-design and co-development of new projects. On the screen, you will see several examples of where our representatives share the knowledge and feedback of our membership to co-design and co-develop new projects emerging in Torbay.
As at the Assembly, we recognised the importance of the health and community support services that were vital to the older population of the Bay. Therefore, we have become involved in a number of activities, projects and strategies. The Frailty and Healthy Ageing Partnership, which is a partnership between the NHS Trust, appropriate sections, the Devon Commissioning Group, the GP Network, and community services, and with the objective of making people less frail and more healthy. Falls prevention is the first thing I got involved in as an Assembly member. It's a falls prevention via the falls prevention leads in the NHS, and has involved me in strategic conversations, in conducting surveys of people who do strength and balance. And in case you think that the only people who do strength and balance classes are those with who are fit and well, I've been in strength and balance classes with people in wheelchairs. And the healthy ageing strategy was constructed as through public health, Ageing Well and its partners and the Assembly to produce a strategy, a 10-year strategy that was implemented last year. Thank you for listening and attending to our presentation. We hope you found it instructive and useful, and we are happy to take questions.